What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, John Luke Garofalo. What's up, JL?
What up?
Came in a little aggressive there. I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. I gotta be a little bit more gentle with some of our guests. Guys, also joining us today, we've got two incredible guests, both great friends of the show. First up, we've got the founder of IBT Media. He's a fantasy football, NASCAR, and lifestyle content creator as well. Seth Woolcock, thank you so much for joining us today on the show, my man.
Absolute pleasure to be back on with you guys. I cannot believe it's already week 4. I cannot believe the fall season is in full gear. So thankful to be here with you guys and another special guest as well.
Guys, also joining us today, we've got great friend of Front Yard Fantasy and fantasy football, NFL, NBA, and WNBA analyst for ESPN, Eric Moody with us. Moody, thank you so much for joining the show today, my man.
Oh, no, hey, I'm delighted to be here. Whenever I get the message, I'll always accept if I can make it happen with my calendar. So, looking forward to getting after it. Hey, it's always good to talk fantasy football, but most importantly, Simon, it's even better to hang out with you, my man.
Oh, you're going to make me blush, Moody. I swear. I got in here and immediately I was like, okay, we got to run over here. Stream starts. And I saw your faces and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, here we go. It's time for some fun. Truly two of my favorite people. Guys, if you are not already following our guests, go and fix that right now. Moody is on Twitter at Eric N. Moody, right there below his handsome face on the screen. Then you scoot a little to the left. There's another handsome face, and below that is the Twitter handle between_Seth FF. Make sure you're following him as well. Truly, Jill, I'm not lying, right? These guys rock.
These are two of my favorite people in the fantasy industry. We are not lying. Go follow them right now.
Not lying. I lie sometimes, but not right here. I'm not going to sit here and act like I never lie. Like when I was 8, my mom asked, did you brush your teeth? No. The answer was no, Mom. I did not brush my teeth. I just climbed straight into bed.
When you were 8 and your mom asked, should I follow Eric Moody? You were like, yes, Mom.
Absolutely. He's the best. Guys, today we brought you here to play some Fantasy Football Jeopardy. Before we get into that, though, we got some people in the chat ready for today's show. Craig says, happy Tuesday Trivia Day, everyone. Craig. Welcome in, Craig. And Albert said, good afternoon, everyone. Well, good afternoon to you too, Albert.
Albert.
How do you do? Dustin said, let's go. Tuesdays are FYF days, 3 hours in the morning, 30 minutes with JJ, and now this. Love it.
What more can you ask for?
I don't know. A pecan sandy or
I can get
something
you
like
pecan
that.
sandy.
A pecan sandy.
What
all
is
the
it?
cookies. That's what he's going to go with?
If we're being honest, I have no idea where that came from. I have never eaten a pecan sandy in my life. I must have been in like a song or a movie or something I watched recently.
Pecan sandy.
Pecan sandy.
Not missing much.
We got FanDuel in here saying, what's up? What's up, FanDuel? Welcome in.
Daddy
Glad to
FanDuel.
have you here. And Mr. Skimmer said, hey, everyone, a twofer. Yeah, it's a 2-for-1. You stick around, you get another bit of FYF. Guys, before we get started with today's game, a couple reminders. One, I already told you to go follow our guests, but I'm going to do it again. Go follow them right now at Eric N. Moody and at between_Seth FF. After you do that, if you're watching this, you're probably already on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you like this video. It's the easiest way to show your support for what we're doing over here. Are you guys ready for some Fantasy Football Jeopardy?
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to win.
I'm going to go ahead
thing.
and
Let's
pull this board up. While you guys get a little sneak peek at the categories, I will explain how this game is going to work. So this is a lot like the popular TV show Jeopardy, but most of the questions are going to be about the NFL or fantasy football. Most, not all, most. Just remember that. No yelling at me whenever some of these questions aren't NFL related. On your turn, you will pick what category and what value you want to answer the question for. Get it right, add that money to your bank. Get it wrong, nothing happens. We're not subtracting. You do not need to answer in the form of a question unless you're a Jeopardy purist and it'll bother you to your core not to. Then feel free, go ahead. We won't subtract points for doing that. The other twist that we have here, though, is Seth, you're going to be up first in this game. If you get your first question right, you will then get to decide what category the person who goes after you has to choose from. So we're going to go Seth, Moody, JL as the order here. Seth, you get your first question right. You'll get to tell Moody what category he has to choose from. He'll still get to pick the point value, but you're sending him to that category. We will go like this until we run out of questions or run out of time, at which point we will move into our final Jeopardy question. This is the only question in the game where you can lose money. If you're going to write down a wager between 0 and the total amount you've earned so far throughout the game, get the question right, you add that money to your score. Get it wrong, it's going to be subtracted. The contestant with the most money at the end of our final Jeopardy round will be our champion. Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to
Let's
take
do
you
it.
boys down.
Let's go.
Seth, you ready?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go full ramped up today.
Let's do it because you're going to be first. Our categories today are on pace for. These are going to be, I took players' stat lines through the first 3 weeks and stretched them out for an entire season. And I'm going to ask you questions about what players are on pace for. Oh, what a week. Oh, what a week 3 was. This is going to be all about week 3 related questions. Grab bag, anything. Literally anything can be in this category. Spelling bee. I'm going to ask you to spell something. There may also be a question involved where you need to know the answer to the question in order to spell it. So just remember that as you're going through that category. Jill, I may ask you something like spell the color that the sky is normally. Don't ask me like, oh, what about sunset?
I wasn't going to.
Okay. But the questions may be worded like that, and I will not provide you with the words you're supposed to spell. You got to figure it out. Then the last category is FanDuel Fun. This is going to be all questions from the FanDuel Sportsbook. Seth, you've got free reign of the board. You get to pick wherever you want to go and whatever value you want. Where are we starting, my man?
Well, I can tell you where we're not going to start. I've been a writer for a long time. I am an awful speller. I've been told that since college. I've been told that since second grade. So I'm going to go away from there as far as possible. I'm going to go for on pace for 300, baby.
On pace for 300. Here's your first question, Seth. Which Kansas City Chiefs player is currently on pace for the following receiving stats? 68 receptions, 651 receiving yards, and 11 receiving touchdowns. Is it Juju Smith-Schuster, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Travis Kelce, or Mecole Hardman? Before you answer, I wanted to give a couple points of information about this category. All decimals are truncated. I did not round up or round down, so decimals are truncated, and we're only talking the stats that I put up there. So if I don't put a stat up there, don't assume 0, just assume I didn't give it to you. And this is a full 17-game pace based on the 3 weeks we've seen so far.
Man, it's a lot of touchdowns on the board there for a couple players that haven't really scored a lot of touchdowns. Man, I'm going to have to go Clyde Edwards-Helaire here, I think. I think it's definitely inflated a little bit. I think it'll come back down. But I don't think Juju's on pace for that many touchdowns quite yet.
Beth, you are absolutely correct. And you picked up on the clue that kind of gave it away there. 11 receiving touchdowns. It really only could be CEH or Kelce. And Kelsey's on pace for way more yards than that. You read that one perfectly. You can add $300 to your round bank. And the chat was all over that one as well. Dave getting it, Jay getting it, Albert getting it. Nice job, everybody in the chat who got that one right. And nice job to you, Seth.
Appreciate that.
You, the fun's not over for you, though. You get to tell JL what category he has to go to next, though.
See, I'm going to guess just looking at you, JL, no offense. You were probably a good speller. So I'm going to send you to your friends over at FanDuel. You're going to go to FanDuel Fun for 100.
What the hell does that mean, Seth? I look like a bad speller?
No, you look like a good speller.
He said the
I mean, yeah, that's what I meant. I look like a good speller. It means I'm a nerd? It means I'm ugly?
It's debatable.
Wow. All right, FanDuel Fun. I'll go with 300.
300 in FanDuel Fun. My question for you is, which game has the highest total for the week on FanDuel Sportsbook at 51.5? Is it Broncos at Raiders? Is it Bills at Ravens? Or is it Cardinals at Panthers?
Bills at Ravens.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you don't get to see the answer. The answer is Bills at Ravens, jail at 51.5. The other two not particularly close.
I would be shocked if any of those other two got 51.5. That would be an insanely high total.
I don't want to, I'm not going to say anything else because there might be some shocking things from the FanDuel Sportsbook this week. There might not be. And maybe I mixed in some tricks with some non-tricks. But JL, you're going to get that one absolutely correct. And I accidentally went in the wrong order. So JL, you now go second. And Moody, you now go third. That's the order that this is going in.
That's fine.
Forgot to mix you up. JL, what category is Moody getting sent to?
All right, let's send Moody to, oh, can I see the categories?
Yes, 1 second. I'm fixing the scores over here.
The freshman said, please frame your answer in the form of a question. No.
Please frame your question in a really nice frame from Michaels.
All right, let's send Moody. I feel like Moody's probably pretty good at spelling too. let's send Moody.
That's fired.
Jail, right after you just asked Seth that the only reason he could say you look like you're good at spelling is that you're ugly, you look at Moody and you go, oh, he's probably good at spelling. You asshole.
Listen, Moody, I wouldn't say that to someone who I didn't love, who wasn't my friend. So if that tells you anything, it's that I feel comfortable enough to roast you. Let's send Moody the grab bag.
Grab bag for Moody. Moody, which value do you want in that category?
I'm trying to remember what's grab bag again.
I
was like, I guess I'll go with 300 to try to even this up. But I was like, grab bag. Wait, what was that one again?
Literally anything. You're in for this. Could be anything, gotcha. Moody. But here's your question: what is Brian Hoyer's real first name? Is it Jet? Is it Maverick? Is it Axel? Or is it Ace?
Wow. Okay. Brian Hoyer. I'm gonna take a guess on this one. I'm gonna go with, just knowing Brian Hoyer and his career, I'm gonna go with Axel.
Final answer?
Go with Axel. Yes.
It is right. Axel Moody. It is lucky. Axel Edward Brian Hoyer. Axel, baby. That's just like a badass name. That was me slamming on the guitar in case you couldn't tell. Down there. JL is going on a monologue right now, but no one can even tell what he's saying.
I said, hey, what's up? I'm Axel Hoyer. You can call me Brian.
Was it like a Guns N' Roses thing? You know, is that kind of where I need to find the story out on this. I've got something to Google after the show. Here we go.
Yeah. It's his name. And like, I don't know how it's been hidden for this long. And it's like just now coming out whenever there was a coach for the Patriots who said he had the utmost faith in Axel and like just left it at that. And people are like, who the hell is Axel? It's Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer is Axel. It's like on his Pro Football Reference page. It comes up whenever you Google his name, but we all just missed that for years and years and years. Moody, sounds like that was a guess, but it was a great guess. You read his vibes perfectly. You could just tell that dude's name was Axel, and you're going to get to pick Seth's next category.
All right, Seth, we are going to, I kind of like this grab bag. We're going to send him to grab bag. Yeah, let the fun continue. Let's do it.
Also, I saw Alex in here saying, I only make fun of my friends. That's why I don't make fun of Simon. Thanks, Alex. I really appreciate that. And we had a bunch of Axels in the chat from Mr. Scampers, Dave, Dustin, and
Axel. Who's Axel?
Who is Axel from Rushman right there?
What's up, Kason? Welcome in.
What up, dude? Seth, what value in grab bag would you like?
I have to go 400 here. I don't know why it's calling my name a little bit, though.
Okay, here we go. Who's that Pokemon?
What?
I think that's is that a Clefairy?
Final answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Clefairy.
Yeah.
It's Clefairy!
Let's go.
Nice job,
Nice.
Seth. You got that one absolutely right from that little silhouette. You're going to add $400 to your bankroll, and you get to pick JL's next category.
I was not a good speller, but I did know my Pokemon. So one for me, being the kid I was. JL, I got to send someone to spelling bee because I need to figure out what this is like. So take your shot here, my friend.
All right. I will go with 300.
300. Also, shout out Dustin and JAC for getting that one right. Clefairy and Kaysen said Schnitzel. I think that was second generation, if I'm not mistaken, not first generation. Also, Dave said this show is ageist. Yeah, 100%. That's
Schnitzel. I choose you.
Doubt. JL, what number did you say in spelling bee?
300.
300 in spelling bee. Spell the first name of the number one scoring PPR wide receiver through the first 3 weeks of the season.
I don't know if he's still number one. I haven't looked today.
Maybe Jorgen Jagerman Jensen?
I'm going to go with Stefon.
Final answer?
Yeah.
It is Stefon. That is absolutely correct. Stephon Diggs is the number one. You got the question right, and you knew it wasn't a PH in there for Stephon. It's an F, not a PH.
I had to write his name so many times on the homework that I gave him, so. I got to learn it pretty well.
I love in the chat. I love this from Dave. Dave put the hyphens in there to let us know he was spelling it. Yeah, Albert, sorry. That was just you saying it. So I'm not sure I can give you credit, but
gotta spell it.
Dave spelled it. Yeah, Kaysen as well with the dig. Sorry. Yeah, you have to spell it. You have to spell it. And first name. Dale, you got that one correct. You're gonna add 300.
I wasn't sure if Stephon Diggs was still the wide receiver one because wasn't he was wide receiver one last week too, right?
He is number one right now over Cooper Kupp, who's sitting at number 2. Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 3, though.
That's hot. All right, let's send Moody. Moody, where do you want to go?
You know what? I was thinking FanDuel Fun. I kind of like that category.
All right, let's send him to FanDuel Fun.
What a gentleman.
All right.
I'm a nice guy.
Thank you.
Or I could have just screwed you over and sent you to another one.
You got to be careful with JL. He does that sometimes.
He could have. I guess I'm going to go big or go home. We'll go 500. So.
Yes!
Yeah, woo!
So we'll see. Let's see what this happens.
Here's your $500 question. The Buffalo Bills currently have the best odds to win the Super Bowl on FanDuel Sportsbook at plus 500. Which team currently has the second best odds at plus 800? Is it the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Green Bay Packers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Miami Dolphin? Somebody made a typo. It wasn't me. I didn't make this game.
Oh, this one has me, God, at plus 800. I'm kind of narrowing this down between I'm thinking Chiefs or Eagles, but if my memory serves me right at odds, I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Final answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Well, Moody, you saw right through the trick. It is the Chiefs at plus 800. The Eagles, despite being one of 2 undefeated teams left and looking dominant so far, are third at plus 850. The Dolphins, again, the other undefeated team, down at plus 1,600. You got that one 100% correct, Moody. Going to add $500. And you guys are killing it so far. Through 2 rounds, everyone's gotten both of their questions, 800, 700, 600. Just a matter of that point value for that second one. Nice job, guys. I feel like this is a first. This is a hot start to Jeopardy where everyone's gotten their first 2 questions right.
See if we can keep it up.
Yeah, watch this. Now I said it, and you guys are going to start clicking on a question and be like, what the hell is wrong with you, Simon? Why would you ask that? Well, honestly, I'm more proud of myself that everyone's gotten all the questions because sometimes I come out here and just write the worst questions.
They're way too mean, just way too difficult.
Way too difficult. There's still time, though. Moody, you've got the lead, and you get to choose Seth's next category. Where are you sending Seth?
Let's go to Oh, What a Week.
Oh, what a week it was, Seth. What point value would you like?
I'm feeling the 400s. We've had good luck there so far, so let's see how it goes here. I've never won a game of front yard fantasy. I will say that now.
What?
So every time I've gotten to the end, I've always burned myself in Double Jeopardy or whatever game we've played at the end. I burned myself. So I'm hoping today is the day, folks, and I'm feeling good with this 400. Oh, what a week, my friends.
Oh, no, he said it out loud now. It's like the perfect game. We'll see what happens. Seth, oh, what a week for 400.
Big mistake.
Who was the top scoring PPR running back in week 3? No multiple choice on this one. It's worth 400. I just need you to tell me who it was.
Man, first coming to my mind, it's I know Jamal Williams went absolutely ham. So I'm thinking Jamal Williams. Oh, man. It was someone sneaky, though. It was a really sneaky back. Actually, no, I don't think it was. I'm going to go Khalil Herbert. I think it was Herbert. Came in for Montgomery in relief. I think he had a big week. I don't know if it was quite as big as Jamal, but I'll lock in Herbert here.
Final answer?
Yep, Herbert.
It was Khalil Herbert with
Nice.
30.9 fantasy PPR points. Nice job on that one, Seth. The switch paid off. And the chat was in sync with you. We had a couple Williams and a couple Herberts in there as well. So shout out to the people that got that one right. And Khalil Herbert came out and looked great. I know our friend Dustin was hyping him up all off season. Seth, if you're sitting looking at him on the waiver wires, Khalil Herbert, someone you're interested in adding to your teams this week?
Probably. It's going to depend. I still don't think we know the full extent of the David Montgomery injury, but Khalil Herbert needs to be rostered in pretty much all leagues. My colleague, Nate Polvote, shout out to him. That's the only reason I got this question. He's been in the back of my ear for weeks now saying that it was Khalil Herbert time in Chicago. So, yeah, if you're out there right now, if you need a running back, I think you should spend at least some amount of your fab on him to go get him.
Moody, do you think there's a shot that we see Khalil Herbert take over for David Montgomery, a healthy David Montgomery this season as the lead back here in Chicago?
Yeah, I don't know if he'll take over completely, but I think after this performance in week 3, the genie is essentially out of the bag, is that you have to consider it. I think he deserves at least anywhere from 10 to 12 touches or possibly more like a week. So now I'm a big Herbert guy as well. I'll kind of leave everyone with this with the stat as well. So you look at like last season, Montgomery was out for 3 games. So Herbert averaged like 23.3 opportunities and had 15.4 fantasy points per game while playing 83% of the offensive snaps in those 3 starts. So yeah, he's my top waiver wire ad for this week. So you'd love to see it.
Absolutely. Darius, and you're saying 0-2. I suck. You do not suck, man. Some of these questions are tough. And I've had games where I made it all the way to Final Jeopardy without getting a single question right. Not a single one. We've had some real stinkers up here on air before. Seth, you got that one right. I'm not going to forget to add your money out. We don't need all of IBT calling for a scandal here after the Nate scandal on Fantasy Football.
Seth's keeping score on his own. I'm sure of it. He knows.
I've got to interject on something. So
please.
Maybe I need some more. Maybe I need some more coffee, but I just want to clarify, genie in a bottle, not a bag. I just caught that. I was like, what am I saying? Maybe I need some more coffee.
Putting genies in a bag.
Yeah, I know, right?
You can't do that.
I tell you. Anyway.
So Moody, it didn't even faze me. I'm like, I love just mixing up a couple words and expressions. They all mean the same thing, and people get what you're saying.
What did you say the other day?
I said
doesn't have all the nuts and whistles.
I stand by nuts and whistles. I think it makes sense. It's a combination of nuts and bolts and bells and whistles, like something that has gadgets and the things that make it work, right? You need the nuts and the whistles.
The nuts and the whistles.
I like my nuts and whistles. They're 2 of my favorite things. Seth, you got that one right, which means you get to pick Jail's next category. Where are you sending him?
Where was Moody at? Just
said cats out of the toothpaste, dude.
Cats out of the toothpaste.
Let's see.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Let's go FanDuel Fun for JL. I think JL needs to be over there. 500's already gone for him. I can't risk him taking any bigger ones.
Hey, last time you did this, I got that 300, so I'm hoping for a repeat here. Let's go 400.
400. Put these games in order from highest total to lowest total according to the FanDuel Sportsbook. Browns at Falcons, Chiefs at Buccaneers, Commanders at Cowboys. So the highest total to the lowest total.
Oh, gosh. This feels like a trap. This feels like a big old trap. Ooh, Chiefs at Buccaneers. That's got to be the highest. I cannot imagine any of these other ones would be higher than that. I'm going to go Chiefs and Bucks, Browns, Falcons, Commanders, Cowboys.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Chiefs, Bucks, Browns, Falcons, Commanders, Cowboys. I'm sorry, Jail. The Browns-Falcons game has a total of 49.5 points.
What am
One
I
of
missing?
the highest ones on the week.
What does Vegas know?
I think the Falcons' offense has looked better than expected. The Browns' offense with Jacoby Brissett has looked better than expected. And the Browns' defense has not been as good as we expected at the beginning of the season. And so you've got 2 offenses that have kind of been moving more than you thought they would, going against defenses that people aren't scared of. It surprised me too, Jail, but then you start thinking about it, and it makes sense. Like I think it makes sense.
Are the Falcons better than we expected?
Yes.
I
think so.
Moody's like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've written a lot about Marcus Mariota as a streamer and have dove deep into that team. Plus, I'm a Saints fan, so the whole NFC South thing. But, we're not going to talk about the Saints. We don't.
We're not going to talk about the Saints.
He's like, honestly, talking about the Falcons is a little too Saints adjacent. Can we please move on quickly, please?
Can we move to another division?
Every time you say the Falcons are surprisingly good, it just punches me in the stomach.
But they are. It's a very entertaining team, but
It is entertaining. We had one right answer in the chat here from Dave with the Browns, then Chiefs, then Commanders. Nice job. Also, Mr. Scamper said in order. They're already in order. You got that one absolutely correct. But JL, you were not alone in thinking Chiefs, Browns, Cowboys. There were some other people in the chat thinking that as well. We're going to move on to our next question. And Moody, JL gave you a nice little gift. You got free reign to the board here. Where are you going?
Let's see. I'm going to go with what a week. I like that category. We'll go big. Go 500.
500 and what a week. Moody wants a big lead here. Devonta Smith finished as the highest scoring PPR wide receiver in week 3. Name 4 of the next 5 highest scoring PPR wide receivers from week 3. It's a doozy of a 500, but I need 4 of the wide receivers that ranked 2 through 6 in PPR this week.
Okay, so I need to name 2 through 6. Okay, all right.
Or 4 of those 5. You can skip one or get one wrong.
All right, so maybe I shouldn't have asked. Okay, let's think. All right, so the week. So Mac Hollins. I know he had the big week. Lot of targets and receptions. Of course, Marquise Brown has got to be in there as well. Russell Gage, because he had a lot of targets and receptions, and got to go with my guy who I recommended as a anytime touchdown scorer in the Jaguars game, Zay Jones.
Yes,
Zay Jones. So you were locking in with Hollins, Marquise
Brown,
enough? Russell Gage, and Seth's favorite player apparently, Zay, MF, and Jones as the last guy. Well, let's see what we have here, Moody. 4 names that seem like weird answers to 4 of the next 5 highest scoring PPR wide receivers. But you would be absolutely correct. Mac Hollins, Marquise Brown, Russell Gage, Zay Jones. You got the next 4 in order, Moody, not just the next 4 on that list. That's going to be good for $500 and adding that amount to your bank account.
You know, the only way I was able to even navigate that in my mind was really I was going off of targets. Because I know a lot of those guys had high catch rates, so that's the method to the madness.
Well done, Moody. Nice pull.
It worked out. I'm not sure I would have pulled Zay Jones. I knew he had the touchdown, but I didn't quite realize just how good of a week he had.
Oh yeah, he's been great. He's gotten a ton of targets.
Yeah, Moody, is it the targets that led you to want to play him as an anytime touchdown scorer this week?
Yeah, it was. I just felt like he was going to hit pay dirt eventually. I know he's come close because I know Christian Kirk has been a monster, but right behind him is Zay Jones. So I just kind of had a feeling with that defense, with the Chargers defense that he was due, I guess as they would say. So it had really good odds on it. So I mentioned that on a NFL bet show I do on Sunday mornings with Aaron Kate Dolan. So yeah.
Nice. We have some questions in here before we move on to your next question in this game, Seth. Sebastian just said, I just traded Najee and Pittman for Justin Jefferson, Hunt, and Kenneth Walker, full PPR redraft. Did I lose? Asking, did I lose? JL, what do you think about this trade for Sebastian?
Well, it's going to depend on your team. Najee and Pittman is a lot. You're giving up a lot. To go to Justin Jefferson, who's arguably a top wide receiver for fantasy purposes, you can make the argument that Najee and Pittman is worth it, and then that Hunt and Kenneth Walker fill in. I'm not as convinced. I would rather have Najee and Pittman personally, but it could depend on my team. If I'm consolidating, if I need that star like Justin Jefferson and I have enough depth to account for Najee and Pittman, then I'm okay with it. But otherwise, just in a vacuum, for what we know based off this question, I'd keep those guys.
Seth, what do you think about this trade? You in line with JL?
I'm always a Justin Jefferson guy, so I feel like they did get the best player on that one side. So, and honestly, like I'm trying to get out of the Najee Harris business at this point, especially with the upcoming schedule. It's pretty brutal for him. Like I don't see Hunt and Najee as that big of a difference as I did 2 weeks ago. So I'm fine with this. Kenneth Walker, he's a throw-in at this point, but I'm all right with this trade. I don't think you lost, but I wouldn't say you won either.
Moody, I saw you nodding along with Seth right there. Do you agree a little bit?
Yeah, I do. It's just with Najee, being kind of banged up with the injuries that he's had, and also just that Steelers offensive line. Like, they just need to get Kenny Pickett under center like sooner rather than later. I'm just worried about that. That offense. Give you another little nugget because I was kind of researching this.
I love a good nugget.
When you look at like the Mitch Trubisky's like passing yards, a high percentage of them are outside of the pocket, and quarterbacks have to live in the pocket and throw the football, and so it's just not sustainable. But Kenny Pickett, especially his last year in college, and like his numbers from the pocket were superb. I'm just waiting on them just to give him the thumbs up. I can't wait to see him out there. But again, I think it'll happen sooner rather than later. But yeah, with this trade, I agree. Just you got to get out of the Najee Harris business. I am kind of concerned about Pittman because he's my guy, but with those other pieces in that trade, I'd give it a thumbs up. I like it.
Absolutely. We had Swavey JP in here. What's up, my man? He said, should I trade Dalvin Cook for Tyreek Hill? My other running backs are Eckler, Saquon, Chubb, Dobbins, and A.J. Dillon.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, right now I would do that with your other running backs. It looked like everyone here agrees. Anybody not doing that move?
What a stud running back core this guy
Right.
has. Congrats to Swavey on like this is a league winning roster right there. Wow.
I don't know how you got all those. You just go straight running back in like the first 7 rounds.
Must have gone straight running back. This is a high T roster right here. Is what we got
High
from
T, that's a
Swavey.
Swavey roster right there.
Yeah, this is straight Swavey. Kaysen wants to know, should I start Russ or Trevor Lawrence this week? Russell Wilson or Trevor Lawrence this week? We've got the Broncos. Who are the Broncos facing? They're playing the Raiders, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Great matchup. Yeah, great matchup.
And then the
And
Jaguars.
Trevor Lawrence is Eagles.
Yeah, so a tougher matchup for Trevor. Moody, where are you going on this one? Are you going Trevor or are you going Russ?
I'm actually going Trevor Lawrence with this. Yeah, I just think we have to take a wait-and-see approach with Wilson. You know, it pains me to say that and just bench him. But one thing with Lawrence, I'm like, he's positioned for success, you know, with that team. I'm like, he's averaged, I think it's like 19 fantasy points per game over the last for the season, excuse me. And Doug Peterson's just done such a great job with that team. I'm like, this team is like leading the AFC South, which like is mind-blowing. They're leading the AFC South, got them operating on all cylinders, and just where you have like Christian Kirk, we talked about Zay Jones, you got the running game with James Robinson, can't forget about Evan Ingram at tight end. I just think Lawrence is positioned for success. So he's someone I view as like a high-end QB2. Like if you're playing on ESPN leagues, I'm like he's available in 49% of those ESPN leagues. And I think he's someone that you can use as a placeholder until Wilson gets it going and starts cooking instead of warming up Stouffer's frozen dinners.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey, Moody. Throwing strays to Stouffer's frozen dinners. That's completely uncalled for. How crazy that you just said one of these guys is a wait and see, and you should start the other one. And the person that you're talking about is Russell Wilson, not Trevor Lawrence. And I agree with you. Like, you do have to wait and see with Russ because I'm not plugging him into my lineups right now. It's Trevor Lawrence for me. Seth, what about you? Is it Trevor Lawrence for you or is it Russell Wilson?
Yeah, you know, Simon, you came on our show last Friday and you said how much the Denver offense like spooks you a little bit. And it kind of really put into perspective that they really do. And this is a top 3 matchup for Russell Wilson. So if he can't do it here against Vegas, I don't know where he can do it. But with a higher total, higher over under for Trevor Lawrence going to Philadelphia this week, I really like what Trevor Lawrence has been doing. Moody kind of nailed it perfectly. So I just think like, unless you really want to risk it for Russ, I think you have to go Trevor Lawrence just because of the safer floor there. Yeah.
I saw this comment from JAC in here saying the left side of that Steelers O-line is abysmal. And then Dave came in and said right side ain't much better.
Yeah, Dave's one-liners get me sometimes.
Oh, me too. Dave just cracked me up with that one right there. I see some more questions in here. We're going to hit those throughout the game, but I want to keep on rolling a little bit. Moody, if I remember correctly, you got that last question right, which is where we ended, and you are choosing Seth's next category.
All right, Seth, let's go to on pace 4.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a swing here. I'm going to go 500. Moody's hit a couple of those big 500, so I need to play a little catch up.
Seth taking a shot. He says, it's time. I've been warming up. Here it comes. On pace 4 for 500. Which of the following running backs is on pace for 277 rushing attempts, 1,711 rushing yards, 22 receptions, and 158 receiving yards? Is it Derrick Henry, Cordero Patterson, Ezekiel Elliott, James Robinson, or Joe Mixon?
So I think this is a little bit of a trick question here. Like Cordell Patterson has been a stat monster on the ground this season, hasn't really done it through the air like we normally see. But James Robinson's tempting as well on this one just because he has been so dominant. I think I'm going to go Cordell Patterson, though. I think those are a little like inflated numbers, and I think that's the one that Simon didn't think I was going to pick. So I'll go with Cordell Patterson.
Final answer?
Yes, lock it in.
Seth, you are reading my on pace 4s like a freaking book. Both of them now you saw straight through the tricks. It is Patterson. The dude's been doing it all on the ground this year, 100% on the ground. It's been nuts to watch, but hey, as long as he's looking good out there, we'll keep on rolling him out. Now, Seth, do you have worries about Patterson breaking down towards like the halfway point of the season, kind of like we saw last year?
I mean, you kind of have to. Like, if there is a good sell high point, I don't know if it's directly now, but it's within the next couple of weeks. If I have Patterson, I'm probably trying to get out of him, but I'm capitalizing on the value because he has been stellar. And the way he's doing it this season is a lot different than we saw in 2021. So it's been interesting, but there are always those concerns, Simon, especially with a player of his age.
Yeah, I'm on all the teams where I have him, which is a lot this year. He was being drafted like double-digit rounds in some leagues, but I'm concerned about what that means towards my end of season. Like I am looking like, is there a window where I should be trying to trade him away? But it's so hard whenever you see a guy just performing, just doing it week in, week out, right?
And just look at those attempts, Simon. Like that's what the attempts he's on pace for. There's no way he can get anywhere close to 277, even like anything above 220. I would be just surprised to see it.
It would be truly absurd. I see Scott Fish in the chat saying JL hasn't responded to my last 4 texts. He forces me to come in his show's chat to get a hold of him just to up the views. JL, how do you respond to these accusations?
You guys want to know what the last text was? The last
A picture
text
of
was
his feet.
It was a picture of a giant 4-leaf clover with the caption, "Even you would have found it."
The disrespect.
Even you would have found it.
And Scott's like, all I do is send him disrespectful messages day
And he
in, day
never
out, and he never
responds.
responds to me. It's so weird.
I typed out a response to Scott Fish on Saturday, and then I deleted it so that I could say a joke, and then I forgot to say the other one back. Do it for the jokes.
Do it for the jokes. Seth, you got that one correct. Adding 500 to your bank and putting you in the lead over JL and Moody. And you get to pick JL's next category. Where's he going?
See, Jay, I can't afford Moody to get more of these 500s. So I'm going to send JL back to Spelling Bee here, hoping he maybe goes for one of the 500s.
Well, Seth, hate to disappoint, but I'm dumb. I'm going 400.
400 for JL. Spell the green vegetable related to cauliflower with a large flowering head that is often said to look like a tree. That was me doing my best to describe this vegetable.
Oh, no. Now
I don't think I could spell this, honestly.
Broccolli.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Bonk! It is double C, a single L, JL. The C's are double. The L is single.
I wrote it 2 ways.
I
wrote it 2 ways.
It's got the Italian etymology, JL.
Broccoli and broccoli.
You should just study your root words. What were you even doing last night that you weren't looking at your Italian root word vocabulary?
Italian.
My
My Italian roots. I can't find them.
JL, I'm sorry. That is incorrect.
Mamma mia.
You're going to get that one wrong. It is a tough word. I spell it wrong every single time I type it. Moody, you've got free reign of the board. Where are you going?
No, I was tempted to go like Spelling Bee, but I kind of like grab bag. So, just got to go for it. We'll go grab bag and we'll go 500.
Grab bag 500.
Let's go.
Here it is.
Let's go.
Do it.
Which of the following former presidents never served as vice president of the United States? Theodore Roosevelt.
Time zone to go back.
Undo. Is it Theodore Roosevelt,
wow.
Franklin Pierce, Chester Arthur, Martin Van Buren, or George Bush? Which one of these guys never served as vice president?
Wow. Okay. All right.
Also, Dave in the chat, shout out, got that one right and spelled it. Absolutely killed it.
I think okay. So let me go through my process of elimination here.
My process of elimination would be based off nonsense here. Just no actual knowledge.
I feel like I've got it down to like 2 or 3, kind of like down to 2. I guess I'll go with Chester Arthur on this.
Final answer?
Yeah, that'll be my final answer.
Okay, the answer is Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce. All of these other former presidents were actually vice presidents prior to becoming president. Most of them immediately before becoming president. That's how most of those
If
worked
the
out,
question
but not
was
all.
true or false, Franklin Pierce used to be a president, I would have gotten it wrong.
I never even heard of his name or Chester Arthur, and I thought I knew my presidents.
Related to Damian Pierce?
Chester Arthur is the least guest president on the Sporkle President's Quiz. So if you take that quiz, it's the one that has the least name recognition.
That's
It's
useful
Chester
information for all of us.
Arthur. Yeah, everyone's just so interested in that. And more presidential fun facts. Martin Van Buren, the only president to speak English as their second language. Their first language was, in fact, Dutch, raised by Dutch immigrants. The only president who didn't speak English first of the United States. We had some answers in the chat. I don't think anybody got that one right. Some George Bushes, some Chester Arthurs, a couple Teddys.
Let's say George Bushes.
Some George
Don't
Bushes.
say that.
Oh, yeah, some Bushes in the chat. Thanks, everyone, for throwing your Bushes in the chat. Moody, I'm sorry, but that one was incorrect, which means, Seth, you've got free reign of the board right here. Where are you going?
The spelling bee is very tempting, but again, I can't spell, so I have to go back to On Pace 4. We've had luck so far, so let's take On Pace for 400.
On Pace 4 for 400. Within 5, how many passing touchdowns was Lamar Jackson on pace for?
Oh, I know this one.
That's a tough one. It's definitely like way too high. I'm going to go ahead and I think he had 40 during his MVP season. I think he's past that a little bit. So I'm going to go 44.
Final answer?
Yep.
Had at least 4 Sunday.
Oh my.
The answer is 56. He has thrown for 10 touchdowns so far. So divide by 3 times 17. It puts you at 56 and 2/3. And like I said, we're truncating, baby. So anywhere between 51 and 61 would have been acceptable, but 56 is the answer.
I should have chose that one.
Moody's like, and instead I was talking about freaking Chester Arthur.
Yeah.
It's like the only reason I know that, just thinking about the numbers, because on This Just In, Max Kellerman had a segment about that, like the touchdown record. Most people know those records, like of baseball, home runs, and that kind of stuff. So it was a segment. I remember watching it, just hearing him talk about that. So if you gave me, if I had that question, I was gonna be like 60. So I was thinking 60. Yeah,
nice and easy.
Wow.
Yeah, so
nice and easy.
close. But anyway, I digress.
If 60 would have been in that range. Definitely tough. Seth, you were on the right path, that it was even higher than his MVP season, but not quite high enough. He's had an absurd first 3 weeks. Took a gamble on himself, said, hey, watch me play for a contract. And, man, he is playing out of his mind so far this year. Oh, 1 second I'm not sure what happened right there. We're good to go. I'm here now saying, I bet you don't know who the only president that served on the Supreme Court is, Simon. Yeah, well, how about this? Come here now. So I'm not sure you considered that. I don't know who the only president who served on. Warren Harding, that's my guess. That's just a name I'm going to throw out there. Seth, unfortunately, that one was incorrect, which means, JL, you've got free reign of the board. Where are you going?
Let's go to Spelling Bee for 500.
Spelling Bee for 500. Spell the last name of the second most targeted wide receiver on the Los Angeles Rams.
Second most targeted. God.
And that is so far this season.
All right. It's Skowronek.
Spell that. You said Skowronek. Okay. You said Skowronek.
Mm-hmm.
It is Skowronek, JL. That is absolutely correct. $500. You knew the question. You knew the
memorize that week 1.
That's gonna put you up to JL. Every time a player comes up on the TV, he's like, "Oh, Simon may ask me to spell that," and just starts memorizing.
Write them down.
Seth was right.
Yeah, you look like a good.
You are a great speller.
100%. I got the face of the speller.
I knew the name, but I knew I couldn't spell that one. So I'm glad you got that one, JL.
They were making fun of me for how I say it the other day.
I can't even pronounce it either.
I think you can make fun of anybody who says that. I think it just sounds funny when you say it, even if you
true.
pronounce it properly. You just mock people for saying Skowronek. JL, you got that one right, which means you get to pick Moody's next category. Where's he going?
Oh, wait a minute. Look at how Dave spelled it. Boo, wrong. That looks like Skrillex.
Yeah, that's a new EDM artist right there. he's dropping a sick dubstep track with Flume and Skowronek. Flume and Skowronek live in concert this Sunday starts at midnight.
That was good. I like that.
All right, let's
All
send.
right, where am I going?
Let's send Moody to. Let's send him just to Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee, 100 to 200. Moody.
Moody do some spelling for me.
I guess I'll do 200. I'm trying to catch Seth here. So
200. Spell the first name of wide receiver McKenzie that plays for the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, first name. Can I write this down and then?
You can write it down.
I did.
All right.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
to be fair,
right.
just because JL does something doesn't mean it's not cheating. But in this case, it is not cheating. JL did it, and
that's
you
why I
can
was
do it.
clarifying.
It means you can get away with it.
That's why I was clarifying. I just don't want to break the rules like JL there. But he's a great speller. But I would, if I would have had his word, I wouldn't have got it. But so
I can't spell broccoli.
So ISAIAH, Isaiah McKenzie.
That is absolutely correct, and that is a name that I spell wrong 100% of the time. The first time,
IAI. For some reason, my brain
exactly.
Yes.
I do IAI every single time.
And then I look at it, and I'm like, that doesn't even look like it. Why do I do that?
Moody, you got that one absolutely correct. And I see Mr. Scamber's in the chat with the IAI as well. Fell for the same trick.
But that doesn't look like Isaiah. The other one does. I don't get it.
This one looks like Isaiah.
Isaiah,
or just Isaiah, maybe. I'm not sure how you would even. And Dave, and you're saying take that.
I don't know what I took
because he spelled it right, loser. That's
me too, Dave.
That's no EDM band. Moody, that brings you up to 500 EDM band. You know the phrasing that we all use to call those guys. We get a little EDM band. Moody, where are you sending Seth?
Let's see.
I also like.
You know what? We have to do this. We gotta have Seth do spelling bee. We gotta do it.
Yes, he's avoided this whole time.
We have to do it.
I hope it's not Cordero. I cannot spell his name at all.
I think I know what it's gonna be.
Spelling bee for 100. You ready, Seth?
Ready as I'm ever gonna be, Simon.
Spell the name of the NFL team from Washington. So the name of the team from Washington.
I wish it was still a football team. That'd be a little bit easier. I'm going to go with COMMANDERS. Commanders.
COMMANDERS is what I've got written down, Seth. Is that correct?
I hope so.
It is absolutely correct.
Well
the double M, no tricks there for you. You're going to add $100 to your bank, and you get to pick JL's next category.
I will send you to Oh What a Week, JL.
Oh, what a week. Let's go 300.
Oh, what a week it was, JL. 300. Put these players in order for most to fewest PPR fantasy points scored in week 3. Devin Singletary, Javonte Williams, Nick Chubb.
I can't remember if Devin Singletary was number. I'm going to go Nick Chubb, Singletary, Williams.
Final answer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was Devin Singletary, Nick Chubb, Williams. Sounds like you were debating between those two guys to begin with and just got a little unlucky picking on the wrong side.
I thought Singletary, I remember 14 points. I just realized I just took off 10 because we had talked about it on FanDuel.
Or you read it backwards. You might have read it backwards as 14.
I could have read it backwards. That could have happened. I thought Chubb had more points than that.
He did not. And Mr. Scampers in here saying Singies was first. Yeah, Singies was absolutely first, Mr. Scampers. Moody, that brings us back to you. Free reign of the board. Where do you want to go?
All right, let's see. Yeah, let's stick with the Oh What a Week. I like that category, so we'll stick with that one.
Oh, what a week. 100 or 200?
200.
Dude, Moody's like, you idiot. Of course I want the 200. Here's your question. Who scored more PPR fantasy points? A.J. Brown, week 1 versus Detroit, or Devonta Smith, week 3 versus Washington?
God, that's tough. I'm just remembering A.J. Brown running wild like a jaguar in the... oh, God. All right, my gut is saying to go with... This is important. Like I can't get defeated by Seth here. He's trying to defeat me.
Oh my God, dude! Rosie has been busting ass this whole time and just gassing out of this room.
All right, here we go. Here. All right, so okay, we gotta go. We gotta go with Devontae.
Devonta Smith. Final answer.
Yeah. Okay. Be the final one.
It would be absolutely correct. 30.9 points to AJ Brown's 25.5. 100% right. So that puts that a little bit into perspective. People were freaking out about AJ Brown week 1, killing it. And Smith just outdid him, said, hey, hold my football. Watch what I can do.
Right. 30.9. Wipe the sweat off my brow, Seth. It's either the nervous game, or it's a nerve-wracking game, or it just may be hot in Texas. I don't know what you guys decide.
I don't know what's more
Both.
likely.
It's pretty hot in Texas down here. Guys, I think we got time for one more round of questions. Before we do that, let's hit a couple questions that I saw here in the chat. We had one from Cedric come in. He said, hi, start 5. CMC, Saquon, Najee, Pittman, Sutton, and Lamb needs 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 1 flex. In my mind, the running backs are pretty straightforward, right? Like you start CMC and Saquon for sure. And then at wide receiver, Moody, which of these wide receivers are you starting? 2 of them.
Yeah, I was thinking Pittman definitely, and as this is tough. I'd go with Pittman and Lamb actually on this one. I was impressed what I saw with Lamb last night with Cooper Rush. So
I think I'm with you. I think
two.
it's Pittman and Lamb for me. Seth, what about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely on board with that. Sutton, man, I want to say Sutton, but he hasn't performed up to what we thought he was going to be so far. So yeah, I agree with Moody there.
Man,
It's going to be.
I like all of these guys this week. I even like Sutton. He has an easier matchup. I'm just gonna go Pittman and Lamb though as well.
Pittman and Lamb, and then for the flex, it's looking like we're looking at Najee versus Sutton. Then, JL, would you start Najee or Sutton in that flex spot? Those are the 2 leftover players. Najee, Seth. I know you said you were trying to get away from the Najee Harris experience. Are you plugging him in over Sutton?
Probably not. It depends. If you want floor, take Najee, but if you're looking for the upside, I think Sutton does offer more upside against the Raiders this week.
Moody, what about you? Sutton or Najee in that flex spot?
Yeah, no, I'll go with Sutton. Yeah.
2 Suttons. I'm going to go with Najee with JL, and it goes back to being spooked by that. I just need to see it. I need to see something besides one drive. Like we saw one good drive, I feel like, out of them where they put it together, and I just need to see that maybe, twice in a game. Like, let's see 2 good drives in a game, and then I'll feel a little more comfortable pushing some of these guys out. Seth, we got time for one more round. Moody just got that last question right, so he's going to get to pick your category. Moody, where are you sending Seth?
Guess I'll have to do some strategery here. So, what a week.
Oh, what a week. Seth, there's only one question left, so this one's coming your way. Which tight end finished week 3 as the number 1 scoring tight end on the week in PPR for the 2nd week in a row? Was it Cole Kmet? Was it OJ Howard? Or was it Mark Andrews?
Well, I know. I almost think like this question was like put in for me because I've been against Cole Kmet for years now. Mark Andrews, man. I get why it was a 100 question.
It is Mark Andrews. It is not Cole Kmet. You're going to get that one right, Seth, bringing you up to 1,800.
Has Seth missed one?
I think I missed one.
Seth
yes.
missed one $400 question, if I remember correctly. I think Moody's also missed one as well, if I'm not mistaken. Seth, you get to pick Jail's next category. Where are you sending them?
Let's go to grab bag.
I will go grab bag 200.
200 for JL. What is the name of the recently announced Zelda game set to follow the critical success The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Is it The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, The Legend of Zelda Whispers of the Wind, or The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom?
All right. Well, I don't think Zelda. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not like the biggest Zelda player or fan in the past. I love Breath of the Wild, but I don't think that they do 2s. I don't think that's like a. Usually they just come up with a new name, don't they? So I'm not going to go with that one. Whispers in the Wind sounds like a weird way to talk about farts. I'm going to go Tears of the Kingdom. That sounds
Final
about
answer?
Right. Yeah.
Well, you are absolutely right. It is Tears of the Kingdom.
Whispers of the Wind sounds like what you would think the game would sound like abstract, ethereal, but it doesn't actually mean anything.
I tried to kind of go with like some of the vibe. I feel like that is like the vibe of that game is a windy whisper, right? Like you're flying around, you're picking up seeds. Like it is the windy whisper, but you saw straight through it, JL. 200 points going your way, keeping you.
I didn't even know there was another Breath of the Wild. I'm very excited about that.
Trailer came out, and it's anher open world Switch based Zelda game.
Looking forward to not working for that month.
Yeah. The first Breath of the Wild game set the company back about 30 days.
Very beginning.
Very beginning. Yeah. JL, you get to pick Moody's next category. Where are you sending them?
Let's send, I want to give Moody a shot here. So I'm going to send him to FanDuel Fun.
All
Also,
right,
before you pick that, Moody, Scott in here saying, I'm not sure I have ever been more excited for a game like I have for Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild is in the argument for my favorite
So
all-time
good.
game, top 10 easy. Yeah, if you haven't played it, go play it, and then you'll be just as excited for Tears of the Kingdom as well. Moody, where are you going here?
Yeah, gotta go for 200 and try to go for the win.
FanDuel.
Oh, FanDuel fun. There is one more question after this, that final Jeopardy. But this is your last question in the game. The Los Angeles Rams travel to play the San Francisco 49ers in week 4. Which team is favored in that matchup, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook?
Which ones are favorites?
So which team is the favorite? You look at that spread. Which team?
Favorite?
Yeah, which team
gotcha.
is the favorite in that matchup?
49ers.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You are absolutely correct. The 49ers are 2.5-point favorites at home in that game. That surprised me a little bit.
I was surprised too when looking at the lines, but yeah.
Moody, what do you think? What do you think they know that we don't know in this one, or what's making this
Rams defensive injuries probably?
Yeah, I think that's a good culprit. Their just defense hasn't been as dominant or have met the expectations as people thought. So, yeah, and plus, it's a division matchup, so it's always fun out there in the NFC. So
always close.
Yeah,
you're right,
Mm-hmm.
guys. We are going to move into our final Jeopardy question. This one's going to work a little bit differently. You guys can wager right now. I need you to write down your wager, anywhere from 0 to the total amount that you have earned so far. Your category for this question is week 3 stats. So week 3 stats is your category for this final question. Write down your wagers. We'll ask the question, give you about 20 seconds to answer it, and then see who our winner is in today's game.
I got mine.
You got yours? Moody, Seth, give me the go-ahead whenever you got yours written down.
Okay. Yeah.
Seth, good to go?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yep.
Moody, good to go as well. Here's your final question.
Wait, don't you have to get the?
You gotta.
Don't you have to take the?
Oh, yeah, I do have to take the wagers. You guys want to show them to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like wait.
JL, does that say $1?
Yeah.
And is that $200 from Seth?
Yes.
So 200
I'll
from
be that
Seth,
crazy guy that goes all in.
$1 from JL, and
I've done that every time, Eric. And I always
1,900.
lose this last question, so I decided to go to conservative a little bit.
Okay, well, here's your last question. Which quarterback threw for the most yards in their week 3 loss? Josh Allen, Mac Jones, or Jameis Winston?
All right,
Which one of these quarterbacks threw for the most yards in their week 3 loss? So if we give you guys about 20 seconds to come up with an answer here. Also, Dave in the chat saying, risk it all. Go, Moody. All on the Moody team, risking it all right there. Moody, that's how you become the crowd favorite, is by putting all the money you earn on the line. That's an easy way to win the chat over.
The chat loves risk takers.
Well, Mr. Scamper said wild wagers. Love it. All over the board. We got a $1, a $200, and
My
a
strategy just immediately
most
neutralized
yards,
by Seth.
most yards and week loss. Okay, got it. Just want to make sure I'm not like writing down the wrong thing here. So okay,
All right, I got mine.
I'm ready.
You guys got it? Okay, let's go ahead and reveal those answers.
All right.
We got Winston, and Moody. What did you say?
Damn it, Seth.
Oh, sorry.
Josh Allen from Moody.
Nice.
Well, we had some
One of
answers
you
in
is
the
gonna
chat
win.
as well. A lot of Jameis's, a lot of Josh Allen's,
Because they
A lot of
lost.
bushes.
and a lot of Bushes still sitting in there from earlier. The correct answer, throwing 400 yards this week, was Josh Allen. Jameis Winston in second. It was the reverse trick. Moody saw straight through it. That's going to make Moody our winner with $3,800. Seth, you are going to come in second with $1,600. JL in third with $1,299. Moody, congratulations. And Seth, that was a great performance leading up to that second place finish. You should be proud of that.
Seth is gonna go punch drywall.
I had a celebration.
Freaking win.
I had a celebration plan and everything, guys. So you might just miss the Stone Cold Steve Austin beers over the head. But Eric, congratulations. If I had to lose to someone, I'm glad someone as great as you, my friend.
No, it was great. No, it was a great game, gentlemen. But Seth, do not feel bad, because what happened to me the last time is that I kind of misread the question and I wrote down the exact opposite. That's why I was like paranoid, saying, "Wait, let me double check this is right." It's always fun. And a great game. Seth, John Luke, Simon, thank you for hosting as always. There we go. Until
Appreciate
next time,
you,
right?
Appreciate both of you. It was a ton of fun.
This is like I said at the beginning of the show, I came in here, saw your two faces in there, and got excited. And it's lived up to every moment of it. Like I'm just gonna leave this stream absolutely cheesing for the rest of the afternoon, unless like my dog shits on the floor or something. But it's gonna take something of that caliber to take this smile off my face, guys. At least a poop on the floor. That's how good this afternoon was. The equivalent vector away from average as a poop on the floor is bad.
Keep explaining it.
The other
keep
direction.
Going.
Yeah. So like
find another way to explain it.
Everybody watching, if you are not already following our guests on Twitter, reminder, this is not where I lie. I'm not lying here. Go and follow our guests, Moody and Seth. Seth's on Twitter at between_SethFF and Moody on Twitter at EricN Moody. I want to thank you guys one more time again for coming on today. This has been an absolute blast. Truly. Like, unless I walk out there and my dog had too much to eat and he just relieved himself all over the surface of my house.
John Luke, I'll interject so Simon doesn't go further down the rabbit hole. So as he mentioned, hey, definitely follow Seth. Follow me on Twitter as well. If you like NFL, WNBA, NBA, sports betting, and fantasy sports with a dash of 1990s nostalgia. Hey, you'll be right at home. So look forward to interacting with everyone. So
absolutely,
Moody, I always feel right at home.
Plug, Seth?
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, you guys crushed it. We're over on Twitter at IBT_media, here on YouTube as well. Front Yard fam, appreciate having, being on your guys' show once again, for you guys having me with Eric as well. Good luck the rest of the season, guys. I hope to come back sometime and finally get my first W. When it does, just be ready. That celebration
feels so good.
You're going to have to clip that. It's going viral, baby.
I can't wait.
Seth, I hate that now I'm like cheering against you. Like now I'm waiting for like each time it's going to get more elaborate, the plans, and it's just not going to pan out. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for bringing in your questions. We will be back on Thursday over on the FanDuel YouTube channel playing some more games at 5 p.m. But if you can't wait, I was going to say, if you can't wait, come hang out with us tomorrow morning. All you got to do is wake up. We're on from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern right here for the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show.
Weekday.
Until then, we are out of here. Moody, Seth, thank you so much. Everyone watching, thank you so much. Dave Fantasy, thank you so much. We will see you guys later. Adios, everyone.
Bye-bye.